This is KVUE News Daybreak.
More heartbreak in London. Less than a week after the deadly high-rise fire, a van plows into pedestrians as worshippers are leaving a mosque. What witnesses are saying about this terror attack.
And under investigation or not, what President Trump's attorneys are now saying about obstruction of justice claims, despite President Trump's very own tweets.
Drinking water in one local town could actually be making children sick. What one mother is saying about the amount of fluoride in the water and who she's blaming. Good Monday morning to you, and thank you for joining us for KVUE News Daybreak. It is 6 a.m. I'm Brian May.
And I'm Yvonne Nava. It is June 19th, also known as Juneteenth, and we could actually get a break from scorching temperatures this week. Well, I'm not really sure about that. Let's send things over to Erica Lopez. Really, are we going to get that much of a break?
I'm still thinking of the Juneteenth thing. I've never heard of that before.
Yes.
Juneteenth.
Yes, we'll explain that to you.
I had to think about it for a while. But yeah, we were on the hot side this past weekend. And then temperature-wise right now, not too bad. Lots of rain just north of us. This frontal boundary is going to help cool us off just a little bit. But it does keep a 20% chance of a spotty shower in your forecast for this morning rush hour and into this afternoon. Temperatures in the 90s. No triple digits anymore. But that frontal boundary, it's going to help cool us down a little bit. And also lower humidity levels. Take a look at your feel-like temperatures, only at 101, only at 99 for Tuesday. Not a bad start to the official start of summer, which is on Tuesday, summer solstice at 11:24 p.m. And Naveed has an update on traffic. How are the roads this morning?
A lot busier. A lot of you guys are heading out the door. So this is a look at I-35 at Wells Branch Parkway. Busier roads traveling inbound. It is now 6 a.m. and for most of the Austin metro area, no major crashes. So thumbs up. Good news for you guys that are getting up this morning. Now listen up. If you're driving in between San Marcos and Kyle, there will be an overnight closure happening tonight. I-35 northbound, the outside lane will be affected tonight 9 p.m. until tomorrow 5 a.m. So between Blanco River to Yarrington Road, expect construction there. The outside lane will be unavailable to you, I-35 northbound. Now several closures will be happening this week, and I'll keep you up to date later on this week. Guys, back to you at the desk.
Naveed, thank you. Breaking news once again out of London this morning. This time a group of Muslim worshippers, the target. Worshippers leaving a mosque, a van plowing into the crowd on the sidewalk. Witnesses say the driver did it on purpose, and police now say the incident is being treated as a terrorist attack. At least one person died at the scene there. Several others were injured. ABC's Molly Hunter reports the man who was behind the wheel is now in custody.
Overnight, another chaotic scene in London.
It went like hysterical. I can't even describe how I was. I was just running around.
Police descending on a mosque after a vehicle ran over nearly a dozen people. Witnesses saying the van turned down a one-way street and accelerated, plowing into a crowd of worshippers who were just leaving evening prayers, with just 1 week left in the holy month of Ramadan.
Basically drove on the pavement, coming straight towards all the Muslims.
Now, here's the police cordon. We can't go any further than this, but it's just behind there. That white van turned onto a one-way street before plowing through people in front of a mosque.
This man says it was a deliberate act, and the man under arrest was targeting Muslims.
At the beginning, he was saying, where's all Muslims? I want to kill all Muslims.
And these dramatic moments, bystanders wrestling the subject from the van, holding him down until police arrived. He is 48 years old, and eyewitnesses describe him as a white man with an English accent.
Whatever happened there was done in a very vindictive way. It wasn't an accident. It wasn't that the person was drunk and the van went out of control.
This is being treated as a terrorist attack, and the Counter-Terrorism Command is investigating.
The Mayor of London calling it a horrific terrorist attack. It comes just weeks after a van veered into pedestrians on the London Bridge, setting off vehicle and knife attacks that killed 8 people and wounded many more. 3 Muslim extremists who carried out that attack were killed at the time by police.
Everyone who witnessed last night's attack said it was without a doubt a terrorist attack. The anger here this morning still palpable. Molly Hunter, ABC News, London.
And new this morning, a U.S. Navy fighter jet has shot down a Syrian fighter jet. All this happened yesterday over Syria. Officials say the jet had dropped bombs on Syrian rebel forces fighting ISIS. The incident marked the first time an American aircraft has shot down another country's aircraft in air-to-air combat since 1999. The U.S.-led coalition said in a statement that its focus is to on fighting ISIS and not fighting the Syrian regime or Russian forces. But it says it will not hesitate to defend partner forces coming under attack. And this morning, we now know the names of the 7 sailors killed when a U.S. destroyer collided with the Philippines merchant vessel. One of those sailors, 26-year-old Noe Hernandez, is from Weslaco here in Texas. The Navy's 7th Fleet has said that searchers found the bodies after the guided missile destroyer returned to its base in Japan. The collision happened Saturday morning while many of the crew members slept. The container ship plowed right into the crew's living quarters, giving them just minutes to escape and save the ship.
They had to fight the ship to keep it above the surface, so it was traumatic. This was a severe emergency, but the ship's crew was swift and responsive, and I can't tell you how proud I am of the crew for what they did to save the ship.
And by the way, the area where the ships crashed is very busy. 400 to 500 vessels cross it daily.
This morning, the congressman who was shot during a baseball practice near Washington, D.C. last week is improving. Doctors have upgraded House Majority Whip Steve Scalise's condition from critical to serious. The Louisiana congressman is awake, speaking with loved ones. He was wounded during that shooting attack at a congressional baseball practice outside of D.C. back on Wednesday. Meantime, Congressman Roger Williams is set to speak in Austin today about that shooting last week. KVUE's Corey Coffin joins us live from the state capitol today with what we can expect. Corey?
Well, good morning to you, Brian. Williams hurt his ankle while running for cover, and one of his staffers, Zach Barth, was hit in the leg by one of those bullets, but we are told he's doing okay. The congressman talked about the ordeal over the weekend while he was in Fort Worth. He says he's thankful for the police officers who responded quickly and prevented the situation from getting worse. It's certainly an experience he won't soon forget.
I was hitting ground balls on the third base side to our third baseman, Trent Kelly, and little did I know it at that time that the perpetrator was probably 20 yards behind me.
As he described the moments of terror that followed, Congressman Williams said he and Barth hid in the dugout, holding one another as Barth also held his leg. Police believe the gunman alleged to be James Hodgkinson targeted Republicans specifically, but Williams said he believes Hodgkinson had severe personal issues. Williams has since said, though, that he is working with Democrats on the Hill to bring more peace to politics moving forward. He'll be speaking here at the Capitol about his experiences at 1 p.m. Of course, we'll cover it on air and online. Guys, back to you.
All right, Corey, thank you so much. Well, happening today, Austin School District is expected to figure out exactly how much they'll be asking for in a bond proposal. Officials are trying to finalize what projects the November bond would pay for. Even though they have a pretty big wish list for revamping aging schools and building new ones, some things may not make the final cut. Now, that's because officials want to keep the package below $1 billion. That's the only way they'll be able to avoid raising property taxes.
6:08 now is your time, and today a Central Texas water company is holding a community meeting after residents in one neighborhood say they're concerned about drinking water. Earlier this month, Gerald residents living in the Sonterra community say they received a letter from their utility company, Sonterra Mud. The letter said that high levels of fluoride deemed unsafe by the Environmental Protection Agency were detected in their water. The EPA says high levels of fluoride can cause bone disease and other problems. One concerned mom says her son has been having some health issues, and she thinks the water's to blame.
The doctor had basically said that she did some research on the fluoride and that it is the cause of his diarrhea and his vomiting.
Now, a spokesperson told KVUE since this is the Sonterra Mud's first violation, they won't have to pay a penalty. They say, quote, "We have been monitoring the situation and are exploring short and long-term remedies to ensure that our drinking water remains as safe as can be," end quote. To find out how to attend today's meeting, search for this story on our website, KVUE.com.
Well, the president and his team are sending mixed messages about whether or not he's under investigation. In fact, on Friday, President Trump tweeted, "I am being investigated for firing the FBI director by the man who told me to fire the FBI director." Well, yesterday, Trump's lawyer indicated that there may not be an investigation.
And now he's being investigated by the Department of Justice.
You've now said that he is being investigated after saying that you didn't.
No.
You just said,
he's
sir,
not being investigated.
You just said that he's being investigated.
I do not appreciate you putting words in my mouth.
All right. Well, this week, President Trump is expected to talk about whether or not there are audio recordings of former FBI Director James Comey's conversations in the White House.
The future of University of Texas Chancellor Bill McRaven could be in limbo this morning. That's because he doesn't always see eye to eye with lawmakers and the new makeup of the Board of Regents he works for. McRaven's 3-year contract expires at the end of the year, and sources tell ABC News they're not sure if he'll be back. McRaven told the Texas Tribune earlier this month that he's got to find out whether or not the board wants him to stay. He went on to say that if, quote, if I'm not adding value to the University of Texas system, then maybe I'm not the right guy for the job, end quote. McRaven has served as UT's chancellor since 2014, the retired Navy admiral and former special operations leader credited for planning the raid that killed Osama bin Laden. It is time now to get a check of our forecast as we begin another hot week in this June month. We're talking about the first day of summer this week, too, right, Eric?
That's right. The official start of summer tomorrow. Summer solstice at 11:24 p.m. The longest day in terms of sunshine we'll have will be on Wednesday for our first full day of summer. Let's take a look at your temperatures that you're waking up to this morning. Upper 80s for Mason, 78 degrees. We still have some lower 70s at the Hill Country, too. Fredericksburg at 72. 76 in Austin right now, and Pflugerville about 3 degrees cooler for you guys, while our eastern counties are primarily in the mid to lower 70s this morning. So feel like temperatures not too miserable. It was quite miserable this past weekend, but we are lowering humidity levels and also lowering temperatures slightly. By lunchtime or so, not even 100 yet for your feel-like temperatures, but we should top out anywhere from 100 and 101 feel-like temperatures this afternoon. The reason for the slight cool down, there's some possible rain chances headed our way. I'll break that down in more details in the full forecast. Guys, back to you.
All right, thanks so much. Forget about having to drag your unhappy pet to the vet. Next, we're going to introduce you to a local veterinarian who will come to you instead.
And dangerous wrong way crashes caught on camera. How technology is working to keep this from happening.